Want to speak real Korean from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at KoreanClass101.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hui. In this video, we'll be talking about top 25 Korean phrases. Okay, let's see what we have first. 안녕하세요. Hello. This is the greeting that you can use for the formal situation. When you meet someone for the first time, you can say 안녕하세요. 만나서 반갑습니다, which means hello, it's nice to meet you. Or with your friend, you can just say 안녕 without 하세요, just to say hello to your friend. 여보세요. Hello on the phone. You have to use a different phrase when you want to say hello on the phone. So say 띠리리리링 안녕 안녕하세요. 띠리리리리 여보세요. 여보세요. That's so you cannot say 안녕하세요 when you're talking on the phone. It sounds weird. 오랜만이에요. Long time no see. When you're just shopping in the department store and you see someone you haven't met for a long time, you can just say 오랜만이에요 to mean long time no see. Or with friend, you can say 오랜만이야. Long time no see. 안녕히 주무세요. Good night. Actually, it literally means please sleep well. So you can use this phrase only with someone who is living together with you, like your parents. So to your parents, 안녕히 주무세요. So at night, you can say 안녕히 주무세요. Then your parents should be, and then you'll be 잘 자. Good night. So 잘 자 is informal way to say good night. So to your wife, to your husband, brother or sister, you can just say 잘 자, and then you can just go back to sleep. 안녕히 계세요. Goodbye. There are two ways to say goodbye. This one is the one that you can use when you leave. Let's say you are invited to someone's house. You had a really great time. You leave. In that case, you can say 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히 가세요. Goodbye. Let's say you are the host of the party. You invited everyone to your home, had a really great time, and then everyone is leaving now. You want to say 안녕히 가세요 because your stay, everyone else is leaving. For example, you can say 안녕히 가세요. 와주셔서 감사합니다, which means goodbye, thank you for coming. 만나서 반가워요. Nice to meet you. When you meet someone for the first time, you can say 안녕하세요, then say 만나서 반가워요. Or if someone is younger than you, you can just say 만나서 반가워 in informal way. So for those who just watched the video of me for the first time, let me say 만나서 반가워요. 모르겠어요. I do not know. Let's say on the street, you're in Seoul, someone asks you something in Korean, you don't know. You have no idea what he's talking about. Then you can just simply say 모르겠어요. I do not know. In informal way, 모르겠어. 감사합니다. Thank you. Let's say you got a gift and you can say 선물 감사합니다. Thank you for the gift. So you can just simply say 감사합니다 or the noun plus 감사합니다 to mean thank you for something. 고맙습니다. Thank you. You can say 감사합니다 or 고맙습니다 to say thank you, but if you want to make it sound more friendly, you can say 고맙습니다. 선물 고맙습니다. Thank you for the gift. 초대 감사합니다. Thank you for the invitation. 잠깐만 기다려주세요. Wait a moment, please. Let's say you're late and you see your boss is about to leave. 잠깐만 기다려주세요. 죄송합니다. Sorry. 죄송합니다. 죄송합니다. 미안합니다. Sorry. Don't use this when you make a big mistake, but if it is not big, then you can just say 미안합니다. That's enough. So when you bump into someone on the street, then you can say this. 미안합니다. Because it's not a big mistake. 알겠습니다. I understand. So let's say you made a huge mistake at your company and your boss will be like, 너 지금 뭐 하는 거야? You can say, after listening to everything, you can say, 알겠습니다. I understand. 선생님 질문 있어요. 선생님 이름이 뭐예요? 알겠습니다. 잘 다녀오세요. Have a good journey. You can say that to those who are going to take a big trip, but usually we also use that to a father who is about to go to work, and we just say 잘 다녀오세요. 좋은 하루 되세요. Have a nice day. 잘 다녀오세요 literally means please go out and come back safely. So you can say only when someone is leaving and you are staying in and waiting for that person. 이름이 뭐예요? What's your name? 이름이 뭐예요? 이름이 뭐예요? 재휘예요. 아, 네. 이름이 뭐예요? 재휘입니다. 아, 알겠습니다. 이름이 뭐예요? What's your name? 제 이름은 입니다. My name is 제 이름은 이재휘입니다. My name is 이재휘. 안녕. 어서 오세요. Welcome. So you got into the store and you hear 어서 오세요 or 어서 오세요 or you got a guest coming into your place. You can say 어서 오세요. Welcome. 실례합니다. Excuse me. You have to catch your bus and you have to go through the crowd. Then you have to say 실례합니다. 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 When you want to ask a question, you can also say 실례합니다. Then your question. 잘 먹겠습니다. I will eat well. Thank you for the meal. You're at the restaurant, you got a lot of food, and you're about to eat. Before you eat, you have to say 잘 먹겠습니다. Even if you're alone, you have to say 잘 먹겠습니다. 아, 잘 먹겠습니다. 잘 먹었습니다. I ate well. Thank you for the meal. 잘 먹었습니다. When you leave a restaurant, you can say 잘 먹었습니다 to the staff to say thank you for the meal. 맛있게 드세요. Bon appetit. Let's say this is the food that I made with seaweed, huge seaweed. 오, 맛있게 드세요. 맛있게 드세요. 잘 먹겠습니다. I'm hungry. 이거 얼마예요? How much is this? So you go to shopping, you found the item you really want to have, and then you can say 이거 얼마예요? 저거 얼마예요? 그거 얼마예요? Then you get the price, but don't accept that. You have to try the discount. Say 깎아주세요 to get your discount. That's all top 25 Korean phrases. Thank you for watching it and please make sure to subscribe. 좋은 하루 보내세요. Have a nice day. 아, 잘 먹겠습니다. 이거 재미는 Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hee. In this video, we'll be talking about 10 lines you need for introducing yourself. Let's begin. 제 이름은 민준입니다. My name is 민준. So like this way you can say 제 이름은 my name is your name 입니다. To be. My name is Jae-hee, so I can say 제 이름은 재휘입니다. Or with my family name, I can say 제 이름은 이재휘입니다. So when you introduce yourself in Korean, make sure you say family name first and then your first name. 서울에 살고 있습니다. I live in Seoul. So you can put any city's name. For example, if you're living in New York City, you can say 뉴욕시에 살고 있습니다. I live in New York City. 27살입니다. I'm 27 years old. The basic way to say 27 is 27. But when you talk about your age, for example, 27 years old, you have to use native Korean numbers like in 27살, 27 years old, not 27살. Let me pick up some numbers. For example, if you're 30-year-old, you can say 저는 30살입니다. If you are 20 years old, you can say 저는 20살입니다. 한국 사람입니다. I'm from South Korea. 한국 사람입니다. I'm from South Korea or I am South Korean. So just put your country's name instead of 한국 in this sentence. For example, if you are Chinese, you can say 중국 사람입니다. If you are American, you can say 미국 사람입니다. 중국 means China and 미국 means America. And here you have 사람 means person. So it literally means I'm a person of Korea. I'm a person of China. 교사입니다. I'm a teacher. For example, if you're a teacher, you can say 교사입니다. Or in some way, you can also say 선생님입니다. I'm a teacher. If you are a student, you can say 학생입니다. I'm a student. 독서는 제 취미 중 하나입니다. One of my hobbies is reading. If you like drawing, you can say 그리기는 제 취미 중 하나입니다. Or just to make it simple, you can say 그리기는 제 취미입니다. Which means that my hobby is drawing. 음악 감상을 즐깁니다. I enjoy listening to music. 음악 감상 means listening to music or music listening literally. So you can just put something else. For me, I can say 여행을 즐깁니다. I enjoy traveling. 한국어를 1년째 공부하고 있습니다. I've been learning Korean for 1 year. So if you speak Korean to Korean people in Korea, they will be surprised. I'll be surprised if someone just suddenly talk to me in Korean. Then you get asked, 한국어 얼마나 공부했어요? How long have you studied Korean? And if you just started studying Korean, you can say 한국어를 한 달째 공부하고 있습니다. I've been studying Korean for 1 month. 안녕하세요. 만나서 반갑습니다. Hello, it's nice to meet you. In general, like if you meet someone, before you talk about your name or after you talk about a name, you can say 안녕하세요. 만나서 반갑습니다. Hello, it's nice to meet you. Or if you know the other person is younger than you, or you just want to be a little bit more casual, you can say 안녕 만나서 반가워. koreanclass101.com에서 한국어를 배우고 있습니다. I'm studying Korean at koreanclass101.com. So people ask you where you learn Korean from, and you can proudly say that koreanclass101.com에서 한국어를 배우고 있습니다. Or if you're learning Korean at a language school, you can say that 어학원에서 한국어를 배우고 있습니다. I'm learning Korean at a language school. Okay, that's all 10 lines you need for introducing yourself. Leave some comments and introduce yourself using one of the expressions that we introduced in this video. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요. Imagine you're waiting in line at the movie ticketing counter. It's your turn to buy tickets next. What do you say? 안녕하세요, 이재입니다. Jerry here. Anyone can learn how to purchase movie tickets in Korea. In this lesson, you'll learn how. Mark and his family are buying tickets at the movie theater. Let's watch.
네, 다음 분.
슈퍼맨 영화 티켓을 사고 싶은데요.
시간은 언제가 좋으세요?
오늘 오후 3시로 해주세요.
몇 분이세요?
4명입니다.
골드 클래스요?
아니요. 그냥 일반 상영관으로 해주세요.
자리는 어떻게 드릴까요?
가운데 있는 자리로 주세요. Now with English.
네, 다음 분.
슈퍼맨 영화 티켓을 사고 싶은데요.
시간은 언제가 좋으세요?
오늘 오후 3시로 해주세요.
몇 분이세요?
4명입니다.
골드 클래스요?
아니요. 그냥 일반 상영관으로 해주세요.
자리는 어떻게 드릴까요?
가운데 있는 자리로 주세요. Here are the keywords from the scene. 다음, 다음, next, 다음, 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 사다, 사다, to buy, 사다, 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 티켓, 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 일반, 일반, regular, 일반, 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 시간, 시간, time, 시간, 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 음, 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 자리, 자리, sit, 자리, 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 영화, 영화, movie, 영화, 영화, 영화. And now, a breakdown of some of the Korean you heard in the scene. In the scene, how did Mark ask to buy a movie ticket? 슈퍼맨 영화 티켓을 사고 싶은데요. 슈퍼맨 영화 티켓을 사고 싶은데요. 슈퍼맨 영화 티켓을 사고 싶은데요. It means I want to buy movie tickets for Superman. First, he says Superman, the movie title, and the object 영화 ticket, meaning movie ticket. Next, we have 을, the object marking particle, and the phrase 구입하고 싶은데요, meaning I want to buy. When you want to buy something, simply say the object marking particle 을, and then say 사고 싶은데요. For example, say you want to buy clothes. Clothing in Korean is 옷, so you can say 옷을 사고 싶은데요. Now you try. Say Mark's line.
네, 다음 분.
슈퍼맨 영화 티켓을 사고 싶은데요. And the scene, how did the theater clerk ask how many tickets Mark wanted?
몇 분이세요?
몇 분이세요? 몇 분이세요? It means how many do you have or how many are you? First, it has 몇, meaning what. Then we have the counter for people, 분. This is an honorific term for person, and you can use it when referring to someone you're not familiar with. For less formal situation, you can use 명 and say 몇 명 to mean how many people. The phrase ends with 이세요, which is an honorific way to say you have. Altogether, we have 몇 분이세요? How many do you have? Or how many are you? Now you try. Say the theater clerk's line. 오늘 오후 3시로 해주세요.
몇 분이세요?
Now the lesson focus. Here's how to purchase movie tickets in Korea. There are many special types of movie theaters in Korea. These include IMAX, 4DX, and luxurious class. 4DX theaters feature moving and vibrating movie seats that make screenings more interactive. If you're watching an action movie or racing movie, 4DX is a must-try. It costs 1.5 times more than regular tickets. At most chain theaters, you can sit in special theaters with gold class and luxurious class level seats. At these theaters, you can find comfortable couches, seats, and high quality service. It costs 3 times more than regular theaters. Gold and luxurious seats are great for dates because you can have items like wine delivered to your seat. And if you pay extra, you can have your pictures printed on the ticket to create a special gift. After you choose which class you want to see the movie, you can choose the movie and your screening time. Hear what Mark said first. 슈퍼맨 영화 티켓을 사고 싶은데요. It means I want to buy movie tickets for Superman. You can replace this part with the movie that you want to see. Then you can say what time you want to see the movie. In the dialogue, Mark said, 오늘 오후 3시로 해주세요. 3 p.m. today, please. When you purchase tickets at the movie theater or buy them on your mobile application, you can choose where to sit. In Korea, all seats are assigned before the screening when you purchase your tickets. When purchasing your tickets, you'll be given the options 앞자리, front seat, 가운데 자리, middle seat, and 뒷자리, back seat. Most Koreans prefer seats in the middle, so it's good to choose seats in the back if you want to avoid crowded areas. In Korea, you can also reserve and purchase tickets from your smartphone. Each theater has its own respective application that you can download. Once you download the app, choose the theater closest to you and the film you want to see. When navigating theater applications, look for the words 극장 or theater, 상영관 or screen, and 예약하기 or reserve. If you can find and understand these words, it'll be easy to reserve your tickets over the phone. Now it's time to practice your new ability. You are at the movie theater to buy tickets. Ready? Here we go. You want to buy movie tickets for Spider-Man. How do you buy the tickets? 스파이더맨 영화 티켓을 사고 싶은데요. The staff asked you how many tickets you need. You are a group of 2. How do you answer?
몇 분이세요?
두 명이요. Great job. 스파이더맨 영화 티켓을 사고 싶은데요. 두 명이요. 잘했습니다. Now, watch the scene one more time. After that, you'll be ready to buy your movie ticket in Korea. 안녕히 계세요.
네, 다음 분.
슈퍼맨 영화 티켓을 사고 싶은데요.
시간은 언제가 좋으세요?
오늘 오후 3시로 해주세요.
몇 분이세요?
4명입니다.
골드 클래스요?
아니요. 그냥 일반 상영관으로 해주세요.
자리는 어떻게 드릴까요?
가운데 있는 자리로 주세요. Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hui. In this video, we'll be talking about 10 phrases to amaze native speakers. Let's begin. 10년 동안 한국어를 배웠습니다. I've been learning Korean for 10 years. Wow, you'll be so surprised if someone says 10년 동안 한국어를 배웠습니다. First, I think it's because not many foreign people learn Korean for over 1 year. I know some people who learn the basic things from the Korean songs, Korean dramas, but not like for over 1 year really studying. So if someone says 10년 동안 한국어를 배웠습니다. That would be amazing to see. 3년 동안 원어민처럼 한국어를 할 거예요. I'll speak Korean like a native speaker in 3 years. You know, if you want to say that you have a strong goal, you can say something like 3년 안에 or 1년 안에 원어민처럼 말할 거예요. Or give more specific things, something like 3년 안에 한국어로 강의를 할 거예요. 3년 안에 한국어로 영어를 가르칠 거예요. Then native speakers like me will be very impressed and very surprised to hear that. And I might want to do everything that I want to do to help the other people to make this goal. 감사하지만 전 사실 원어민이 아니에요. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. That's actually my goal to say that. I want to say something like, thank you, but actually I'm not a native speaker or something like that. 감사하지만 전 사실 원어민이 아니에요. Thank you, but I'm not actually a native speaker. 유창해지기까지 1년밖에 걸리지 않았어요. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. If that's true, then you can proudly say that 유창하기까지 1년밖에 걸리지 않았어요. 2년밖에 걸리지 않았어요. Then people are very surprised to hear that. 자막 없이 한국 영화를 볼 수 있습니다. I can watch Korean movies without subtitles. If you live in Korea, I think you already know that there's some movie theater that you can see Korean movies with English subtitles. But that movie theaters are not that good. It would be great if you can just see them without subtitles. Yeah, some Korean comedy movies would be good if you want to improve your Korean and also watch Korean drama without subtitle in the future. 하루에 약 50개의 새로운 한국어 단어를 외울 수 있습니다. I can memorize around 50 new Korean words a day. So here we have 하루에, a day, and 새로운 한국어 단어, meaning new Korean words. Well, actually, I think anyone can memorize 50 Korean words if they spend enough time to do that. But it's not easy to do that every day. So if someone says 새로운 단어를 하루에 50개 외울 수 있습니다, that would be surprising because that means that someone is learning Korean seriously. 하신 말씀 모두 다 완벽히 이해했습니다. I completely understood everything you said. So if you say 하신 말씀을 모두 완벽히 이해했습니다, that means that I didn't miss anything. Especially at work, like if you say that, it's going to impress your boss because, you know, that means that I'm listening, I can understand every single thing that you said. 한국어 외에 다른 언어도 몇 개 할 수 있습니다. apart from knowing Korean, I can speak a few other languages as well. So if you have other languages that you can speak, even though it's not fluent, just like at the beginning level, you can say 한국어 외에 something도 말할 수 있습니다. 한국어 외에 일본어도 중국어도 말할 수 있습니다. 한국어 외에 프랑스어도 독일어도 말할 수 있습니다. To say that you speak, few other languages apart from English and Korean. 한국어는 재미있고 배우기 쉬워요. Korean is fun and easy to learn. Here we have the adjective 재미있다, fun, and 쉬워요, easy. So that means that you really enjoy learning Korean. Not only to make the other people amazed, I think with saying this, you can also find many native speakers who wanna help you to improve your Korean, because who would not want to, help someone who really like enjoying learning Korean. 혼자 한국어를 공부하고 있습니다. I'm learning Korean all by myself. So here we have the word 혼자, meaning alone, all by oneself. Actually, there are many people learning Korean by themselves. So if you learn Korean all by yourself, later when you get a chance to visit Korea and talk with Korean people in Korean, just simply say 혼자 한국어를 공부했습니다. I've been learning Korean all by myself. Okay, that's all 10 phrases to amaze native speakers. Have you done any of this? Please leave us a comment in Korean. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요. Imagine you're in a hurry and need to get somewhere fast. You decide to take a taxi, but how do you do it? 안녕하세요, 이재입니다. Jae here. Anyone can learn how to use a taxi in Korea. In this lesson, you'll learn how. Mark and his family are on their way to a movie theater. Let's watch.
안녕하세요. 네, 어서 오세요. 홍대에 가주세요. 네, 쇼핑하러 가세요.
아니요, 영화 보러 가요.
아, 여기서 세워주세요. 네. 팀원이 되나요? 잠시만요. 이제 대주세요. 감사합니다.
Now with English.
안녕하세요. 네, 어서 오세요. 홍대에 가주세요. 네, 쇼핑하러 가세요.
아니요, 영화 보러 가요.
아, 여기서 세워주세요. 네. 팀원이 되나요? 잠시만요. 이제 대주세요. 감사합니다.
Here are the keywords from the scene.
홍대, 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 an area for clubbing and shopping. 홍대, 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 쇼핑, 쇼핑, shopping, 쇼핑, 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 영화, 영화, movie, 영화, 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 세워주다, 세워주다, stop, 세워주다, 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 팀원이, 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 a transportation card, 팀원이, 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 대다, 대다, to touch, 대다, 대다, 대다.
And now a breakdown of some of the Korean you heard in the scene.
In the scene, how did Mark ask the taxi driver to take him somewhere? 홍대에 가주세요. 홍대 가주세요. 홍대 가주세요. It means please go to Hongdae. When you want to ask someone to go somewhere, first say your destination. Mark says Hongdae, the area in Seoul which is popular for clubbing and shopping, then says 가주세요, meaning please go. Simply, your destination, 가주세요. You can use this phrase to request someone to go somewhere for you. It's commonly used to give directions when taking taxis. If you want to go to Seoul Station, for example, say 서울역 가주세요. 서울역 is the word for Seoul Station. Now you try. Say Mark's line. 안녕하세요. 네, 어서 오세요. 홍대 가주세요. How did Mark ask about paying the cab fare? 팀원이 되나요? 팀원이 되나요? 팀원이 되나요? It means, can I pay by a transportation card? Or literally, is T-money okay? T-money is the name of the most popular transportation card in Korea. Mark wants to pay by T-money, the transportation card. He says T-money first, then 되나요, which means can or is it okay? By simply adding 되나요 to any noun, you can ask something like, is something okay? If you want to pay with a credit card, you can say 카드 for credit card and say 되나요? 카드 되나요? Is a credit card okay? Now you try. Say Mark's line. 아, 여기서 세워주세요. 네. 팀원이 되나요?
Now the lesson focus. Here's how to take a taxi in Korea.
There are 3 types of taxis in Korea. Orange taxis are owned by a taxi company, silver taxis are privately owned by the driver, and black taxis are considered luxury vehicles. The fare in orange and silver taxis is reasonably priced, but drivers are hesitant to drive into small alleys or roads. The fare in black taxis is 1.5 times more expensive than the regular fare because the drivers are good mannered and will drive anywhere. They will provide English speaking drivers or access to interpretation services. To signal a taxi driver, simply raise your hand and wave it up and down. When the taxi arrives, open the door and take your seat. What did Mark say when he took the taxi? 안녕하세요. In Korea, it's okay to sit next to the driver even if you're riding alone. And if you're riding with someone older than you, ask the person to sit in the 상석 or upper seat. The upper seat is located behind the front passenger seat and is considered a more honorable seat. To give directions to the driver, say your destination and 가주세요. 홍대 가주세요. Sometimes the driver may not know the location. In that situation, show them the map on your phone and say 여기인데요. It means it's here. Or if you have the address written on a piece of paper, give it to the taxi driver. The driver will enter the address into the navigation system to get the route. Once you've arrived, how can you say, please stop here? Listen to what Mark said. 아, 여기서 세워주세요. It means, please stop here. When the taxi stops, check the price on the meter and say how you want to process the payment. Mark wanted to pay by T-money, the transportation card, so he said, T-money 되나요? If you already know you can pay by a transportation card, you can say T-money로 해주세요. It means I'll pay with T-money. When you want to pay using cash, say 현금으로 할게요. It means I'll pay with cash. Or if you want to pay by a credit card, first ask 카드 되나요? To mean, is a credit card okay? Note that some private taxis don't accept credit cards. If the driver says yes, say 카드로 할게요, which means I'll pay with a credit card. Tipping is not necessary in Korean taxis, so you receive all of your change back.
Now it's time to practice your new ability.
You've just seated yourself in a taxi. Ready? Here we go. You want to go to Gangnam Station or Gangnam-역. What should you say? 강남역 가주세요. You've arrived at your destination. You want to pay with your transportation card or T-money. What should you say? T-money 되나요? 잠시만요. Great job. 강남역 가주세요. T-money 되나요?
잘했어요. Now watch the scene one more time. After that, you'll be ready to take a taxi in Korea. 안녕히 계세요.
안녕하세요. 네, 어서 오세요. 홍대에 가주세요. 네, 쇼핑하러 가세요.
아니요, 영화 보러 가요.
아, 여기서 세워주세요. 네. 팀원이 되나요? 잠시만요. 이제 대주세요. 감사합니다.
Want to speak real Korean from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at KoreanClass101.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hui. Welcome back to Korean Weekly Words. In this video, we'll be talking about 20 travel phrases you should know. Let's begin. 고마워요. Thank you. I think if you just have to remember just one phrase before you travel to Korea, I think this is the phrase that you should know. 고마워요. There are different phrases meaning thank you. For example, 감사합니다, which is more formal, something like I appreciate. But 고마워요 can be used in general for any like casual or formal situation. For example, 저쪽에 가시면 화장실이 있어요. The toilet is over there. And you can just say 고마워요, thank you. Just for your tip, in Korea, it's mandatory to open a bathroom on the first floor of every building. So if you don't know where you can find a restroom, you just go to any big building around you, and then you'll be able to see a restroom open to public on the first floor of each building. 저기요, excuse me. If you want to ask how to get to a restroom around you, you can just say 저기요, 화장실은 어디에 있어요? Excuse me, where's the toilet? And then you can say 고마워요 to thank you after getting the answer. 얼마입니까? How much is it? 얼마입니까 sounds a little bit formal, so if you want to go a little bit casual, you can also say 얼마예요? How much is it? You're at a store like for clothing and you find a very good clothing for you, but there's no price tag. Then in this case, you can say 얼마입니까? 얼마예요? Meaning how much is this? 기차역이 어디예요? Where's the train station? Here we have the noun 기차역 meaning train station, and you can replace it with the other noun saying 화장실이 어디예요? Where's the toilet? Or 지하철역이 어디예요? Where's the subway station? 와이파이 인터넷은 무료인가요? Is the Wi-Fi free? So here we have the word Wi-Fi internet, or simply you can also say Wi-Fi to mean Wi-Fi. If you go to any cafe like Starbucks, let's say you buy a coffee and you can get a receipt, and on the receipt you can find a Wi-Fi password. Checking it, you can ask them saying Wi-Fi는 무료인가요? Or Wi-Fi internet은 무료인가요? Meaning is the Wi-Fi free? 이거로 할게요. I'd like this. 이걸로 할게요. I like this. Here we have the noun 이거 meaning this. If you want to say that thing, you can say 저거로 할게요. I'd like that. 메뉴판 좀 주실래요? Could we have the menu please? 메뉴판 좀 주실래요? Could we have the menu please? You can just simply say menu and say 메뉴 좀 주실래요? To mean the same thing. This is very polite expression, so I recommend you to use that. And if you need something else, you can just replace 메뉴판 with something else. For example, 물 좀 주실래요? Could we have water please? Or 김치 좀 주실래요? Could we have kimchi please? 추천해 주시겠어요? Do you have any recommendations? If you're not sure what to have at the restaurant, you can just say 추천해 주시겠어요? Do you have any recommendations? If you're not sure what to order at a Korean restaurant, I would highly recommend you try bulgogi, which is kind of seasoned beef with soy sauce and sugar. So it's a little bit salty but also sweet but not spicy. 불고기를 추천합니다. I recommend 불고기. 땅콩 알러지가 있어요. I'm allergic to peanuts. If you're allergic to peanuts, you can just say 땅콩 알러지가 있어요. If you're allergic to something else, you can just say something 알러지가 있어요. For example, if you're allergic to cats, you can just replace 땅콩 with 고양이, which means cat, and say 고양이 알러지가 있어요. I'm allergic to cats. 채식 메뉴 있어요? Do you have any vegetarian dishes? Although many Korean dishes use a lot of vegetables, it's not easy to find something only for vegetarians. So it's better to ask, 채식 메뉴 있어요? Do you have any vegetarian dishes? Before you order something at a Korean restaurant. Or if you want to try a traditional Korean dish but without any beef or meat, you can just say 고기 빼고 주세요, which means please make dish without meat. 계산서 주세요. Could I have the check? If you want to pay for your dish, you can just ask 계산서 주세요. 카드 돼요? Do you take credit card? 카드 돼요? Do you take credit card? Almost all the restaurants, they accept credit cards. So even if you don't have any Korean currency, it's okay to just go to a restaurant and just pay by your credit card. 사진 좀 찍어주실래요? Could you take a picture of me, please? So if you're alone, but if you want to take a picture of you with something beautiful, you can just ask, 사진 좀 찍어주실래요? 금연석으로 주세요. I'd like to have a non-smoking seat, please. Actually, you don't have to ask this question anymore because since 2015, all restaurants in South Korea became non-smoking, like smoking-free. But you can use the pattern to ask something else. For example, 창가 근처로 주세요. I'd like to have a window seat. 할인해 주실 수 있어요? Could you give me a discount? Simply, you can also say 할인해 주세요, which means please give me a discount. When you are at a Korean traditional market, I think it's mandatory to ask this question because usually they expect their customers to ask this question. So it's better to ask the question. It's kind of fun to get some discount. So in the case, you can say 할인해 줄 수 있어요? Could you give me a discount? Or 할인해 주세요. Please give me a discount. 지도 좀 주실래요? Could I get a map? It's possible to not have any internet connection on your phone, so you need a map. In that case, you can just go to a tourist information center where you can find almost every tourist spot in South Korea and just say 지도 좀 주실래요? Could I get a map? 예약했어요. I have a reservation. So when you step into a hotel, when you step into a guest house, the staff will ask you like 예약하셨어요? Did you make a reservation? Then you can say 예약했어요. I made a reservation. I have a reservation. 물 주세요. Water please. This is very simple pattern. Like you can just replace 물 with something else. 김치 주세요. 김치 please. 주세요 can be used for any situations. It sounds polite, but still a little bit casual. If you want to be really polite, you can also say something 주시겠어요? 물 주시겠어요? 김치 주시겠어요? That means could you please give me something? But for most of the cases, you can just remember 주세요 and say something 주세요 to mean something please. 영어 할 줄 아세요? Do you speak English? Simply, you can also say 영어 하세요. It literally means do you do English? But it can mean do you speak English? You know, if someone says something in Korean and you want to ask the person to repeat this question in English, you can just say 영어로 말해주세요. Please say that in English. 괜찮아요. It's okay. So in Korean, it's better to say something indirectly if you want to be polite. So if you want to say no, it's better to say 괜찮아요, which literally means it's okay, but it can be translated as no. So for example, if someone asks you to buy something, you can just say 괜찮아요 to mean no. It's better than saying 아니에요, which means no, literally, because it sounds too direct, and so therefore it sounds a little bit rude. Okay, that's all 20 travel phrases you should know. I hope you use some of the phrases when you travel to Korea. Make sure to come to koreanclass101.com to learn more expressions. I'll see you next time. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요.
안녕하세요, 에이미예요. 반가워요. Hi everybody, I'm Amy. Welcome to koreanclass101.com's 3분 한국어. The fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn Korean. In this lesson, we will learn some of the most common greetings used in Korea. Are you ready? Then let's start. The most common informal greeting is 안녕. 안녕. 안녕 means peace. We say it when we meet someone and also when we leave, but only to a friend or someone younger than us. The more standard greeting that you will hear a lot in Korea is 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Literally, 안녕하세요 means Are you at peace? We use it to say hello when we meet someone. It's technically a question, but we don't always say it that way. 안녕하세요. Because 안녕하세요 is a question, some people answer it with 예, which means yes, before replying with the same question, 안녕하세요. When it's time to leave, we have a couple different ways to say goodbye. If you're leaving and the other person is staying, say 안녕히 계세요. 안녕히 계세요. 계세요 means please stay. So 안녕히 계세요 literally means please stay peacefully. A casual version of 안녕히 계세요 is 잘 있어. 잘 means well, and 있어 means stay informally. So 잘 있어 just means stay well. 잘 있어. If the other person is leaving, say 안녕히 가세요. 안녕히 가세요. 가세요 means please go. So 안녕히 가세요 literally means please go peacefully. A casual version of 안녕히 가세요 is 잘 가. 잘 means well, and 가 means go informally. So 잘 가 just means go well. Now you know lots of ways to greet people in Korean. Let's review them all once again. To greet someone casually, 안녕. To greet someone respectfully, 안녕하세요. To say goodbye respectfully when you're leaving and the other person is staying, 안녕히 계세요. To say goodbye casually when you're leaving, 잘 있어. To say goodbye respectfully when the other person is leaving, 안녕히 가세요. To say goodbye casually when the other person is leaving, 잘 가. Today, we're going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. Are you ready? Then let's start. There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the most common phrase, 감사합니다. 감사합니다. 감사합니다 means I do thanks or thank you. To say thank you very much, you just need to add 대단히, which means very much or greatly. 대단히 감사합니다. 대단히 감사합니다. 대단히 means greatly, so 대단히 감사합니다 is like saying thank you very much. In the last lesson, we saw that Korean has formal and informal ways of speaking. 감사합니다 is pretty formal. If you want to thank someone more casually, you can use a shorter phrase. 고마워. 고마워. Let's break down those phrases. In the formal way of saying thank you, 감사합니다. 감사 means thank you. And 합니다 is a formal way to say to do. So 감사합니다 means I do thanks. And to make it less formal, we swap out 감사 with a different verb. That's 고마워. It has the same meaning of thank you, but it's more friendly. When someone thanks you, how should you answer? There's no set response like you're welcome in English, but there are a few things that you can say. The first thing is 아니에요. 아니에요. You literally are saying no, but this is a common and informal way to respond to someone thanking you. You're telling the person that there's nothing to bother thanking you for. There's another phrase that's used to respond to thank you in Korean. 천만에요. 천만에요. But it's not used all that often. You're better off with 아니에요 in most situations. Now it's time for Amy's insights. 감사합니다 sounds formal. 고마워 sounds informal. What if you want to sound kind of formal, but still kind of friendly? In that case, you can upgrade the informal 고마워 to 고마워요. You see, you simply add 요 at the end. 요 is the sentence ending particles that make sentences more polite. This is a nice way to thank your waiter. 고마워요. First of all, you're going to learn how to introduce yourself in Korean. There are a few different ways to do it depending on how formal you want to be. Let's first look at an informal way to introduce yourself. 안녕, Amy야. 반가워. Hi, I'm Amy. Nice to meet you. 안녕, Amy야. 반가워. Here, 안녕 means peace, so literally you say peace to say hello in Korean. Next, you can say your name, then add the sentence ending particle, 야. My name is Amy, so I say Amy야. Finally, you say 반가워. 반가워 means nice to meet you. Now you try it. Start by saying 안녕. Then say your name followed by 야. If your name is David, you can say 데이비드야. Finally say 반가워. 안녕 데이비드야. 반가워. Now let's see a formal version. 안녕하세요. Amy예요. 반가워요. Hi, I'm Amy. Nice to meet you. 안녕하세요. Amy예요. 반가워요. What has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at these together. First, 안녕 has to change to 안녕하세요. 하세요 is the verb meaning to do. If you add 하세요 next to 안녕, it becomes more formal and polite. 안녕하세요. Next, you can replace the particle 야 with 에요. Both of them are sentence ending particles, and you can put them after nouns. But 야 is informal and 에요 is formal. So if you say Amy예요 instead of Amy야, you can introduce your name in more formal way. Finally, 반가워요. Do you remember how to say nice to meet you in the informal way? 반가워. Here, you can simply add the particle 요 at the end of the verb. Then it becomes formal. 요 is a particle that can make a sentence polite. 반가워요. One more time. The formal way to introduce yourself is 안녕하세요. Amy예요. 반가워요. The informal way to introduce yourself is 안녕, Amy야. 반가워. Now it's time for Amy's insights. When you introduce yourself in Korea, it's polite to make a small bow. If you're a guy, bow with your hands at your sides. If you're a girl, bow with your hands in front of you. Bow from the waist. You don't have to dip down very far.
Hi everyone, I'm Jae-hee. Welcome back to Korean Top Words. In this lesson, we'll be talking about top 10 ways to prepare your travel. Let's begin. 목적지를 정하다, to choose your destination. 목적지를 정하다, to choose your destination. So here we have the word 목적지. 목적 means purpose, and 지 means something like the location. So it means literally the location of the purpose. So in a sentence, you can say, 이번 여름 휴가 목적지를 한국으로 정했어. I chose Korea as the destination for this year's summer vacation. 가이드북을 사다, to buy a guidebook. 가이드북을 사다, to buy a guidebook. 서점에서 가이드북을 샀어. I bought a guidebook at the bookstore. 돈을 모으다, to save money. 돈을 모으다, to save money. Literally, it means to gather money. Like, imagine that you have a lot of money here and there, so you grab them and just put them into one place. That's the literal translation of 돈을 모으다, meaning to save money. In a sentence, we can say 한국 여행을 하려고 돈을 모으고 있어, which means I'm saving money to travel to Korea. 항공편을 예약하다, to book a flight. 항공편을 예약하다, to book a flight. So when I book a flight, I usually go to the airline's website and buy it there because I don't have to pay extra fee. And for most of the cases, I think I can get a better deal. In a sentence, we can say 서울에 가는 항공편을 예약했어, which means I booked a flight to Seoul. 경비를 알아보다, to research the costs. 경비를 알아보다, to research the costs. So here the word 경비 is kind of the formal word, so you can use it when you talk about the budget or cost for a big project or a travel too, because it's kind of the big thing. In a sentence, you can say 이번 여행에 필요한 경비를 알아보자, which means let's research the cost for this trip. 휴가를 신청하다, to request vacation time. 휴가를 신청하다, to request vacation time. I remember that when I was working at a Korean company, it was not easy to request a vacation because it was not common to use all your paid holidays. So I remember on my first year, I only spent one paid holiday for the entire year. Luckily, I could get the money back for non-used paid holidays, so it was okay though. In a sentence, you can say 일주일 휴가 신청했어. I requested a week's vacation. 숙소를 예약하다, to book accommodations. 숙소를 예약하다, to book accommodations. So 숙소 is made of two Chinese characters, so it literally means the place to stay. 인터넷으로 숙소를 예약해서 할인을 받았어. I received a discount by booking accommodations online. 여권을 갱신하다, to renew your passport. 여권을 갱신하다, to renew your passport. Here we have the word 여권. 여 is the Chinese character meaning travel, and 권 means some kind of the book. So literally means something like the book that you can use for travel. 작년에 여권을 갱신했어. I renewed my passport last year. 짐을 싸다, to pack. 짐을 싸다, to pack. So here we have the word 짐. It means something that you have to carry. Like if you're on a trip, that means your suitcase, like anything that you put into your bag, and also the bag itself. So it's better to use it as a set phrase, 짐을 싸다, instead of just saying 싸다, which also means to pack. In a sentence, you can say 오늘 밤 집에 가서 짐을 싸야 해, which means I have to pack when I get home tonight. 여행자 보험을 들다, to buy travel insurance. 여행자 보험을 들다, to buy travel insurance. So the word 여행자 means traveler. So you can also find it in some words like 여행자 수표, traveler's check. And 보험 means insurance. So 여행자 보험 altogether means travel insurance. 공항에 도착하면 여행자 보험을 들자. Let's buy the travel insurance when we arrive at the airport. Okay, that's all top 10 ways to prepare your travel. I hope you like some of the words. And make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video. 다음 시간에 뵙겠습니다. 안녕히 계세요.
Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.